Do you know ball?
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 Do you know ball episode 56, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast, the DYKB Pod. I am Matthew DeGennaro. That is Zach Pappenberg. Zach, say hi.
What's going on, everybody?
Today's pod is going to be a little bit shorter, as you might notice, so we're going to kind of go in, directly into it. So the first topic of the day, the Thunder are on the brink of advancing to the NBA Finals. So we want to ask, is an NBA championship inevitable for them? Zach, what do you think?
Look, I think with their roster, I feel like they stack up good against either the Pacers or the Knicks. I feel like they're just set up that way. They already faced a couple tough teams in, the Nuggets before the Timberwolves and then the Timberwolves. So it's not like they haven't been facing tough teams themselves. But the Pacers beat the Cavs, the Knicks beat the Celtics, and they've beat their own Goliaths. So I'm sure it'll be an interesting matchup, probably. But um, I think they match up really good against either one. So if an NBA championship is inevitable for them, I think sorta maybe. It's hard to say because you can't guarantee anyone to win an NBA championship, but I think they got a really good shot this year of winning the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I think right now well, regardless of how the Knicks and Pacers series ends, I think right now my pick for the winner of the NBA Finals is going to be the Thunder if they do make it there. I just think that they're too dominant. You have Shea Gilgeous, who's the MVP right now. He's been so good, and then you got a supporting cast of Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein, Lou Dort. Like that team is just stacked. So right now, I really like the way the Thunder are playing. And speaking of the Thunder being in the finals. I mean, do we just go right into the next one? I mean,
Hey, I mean, we could just slide right into the next one. So would the next one really is would a Pacers versus Thunder finals be bad for the sport?
mhm.
Deej, what's your thoughts on this first?
Yeah, so first off, bad for the sport. I think we need to define our terms, I think. I definitely think when we say bad for the sport, do we mean bad entertainment wise, or do we mean bad for like the league, like in terms of a financial aspect? So I'm looking at both. I'm a sport management major, right? In terms of the fans, okay, I know that so many people would much rather see a Knicks and Timberwolves finals. I feel like I just feel like people would like to see Ant in the finals, and they would like to see the Knicks go up against like Julius Randle and like like, and they like to see Cat go up against his old team. I feel like from a fan perspective that would be fun. I even just think maybe Knicks versus Thunder would be super fun, like from a most fan perspective. I'm obviously a Knicks hater, so any finals where they're not in it is good for me. So it begs the question, right? Like the Thunder are obviously like the best team in the NBA, and then you go up against these like massive underdog Pacers, right? If the Pacers were to be in the NBA Finals versus the Thunder, I think that would turn a lot of fans off, maybe. Despite how great the playoffs have been this year and how great the ratings have been, I think that would turn some fans off as opposed to the Knicks being in the finals, right? Because you can argue that right now they are the most popular team in the playoffs right now. And they have arguably the biggest fan base out of almost any NBA. That's not true. Out of everyone in the playoffs, they have arguably the biggest fan base and the most crazy fan base. So I think from a financial perspective, yeah, I think the league would not really benefit as much from a Thunder Pacers finals. And I think from a fan entertainment perspective, they would not enjoy a Pacers Thunder final as much as, say, I would, who is a massive Knicks hater. I would love the Pacers to be in the finals though, because they're just it's an underdog versus a top dog. What's better than that, right? I mean, I mean, Zach, what do you think?
So I'm kind of in the same boat as you with this topic. The Pacers and the Thunder, if if it were to happen, I'm sort of in the same boat. I'm gonna preface that. If Pacers versus Thunder were to happen, I don't know if a lot of people would really tune into it. I do think it would bring down the views, and I don't think, as good as the playoffs has been this entire year, it probably will garner the least amount of views in any series this year for the playoffs. Simply just because I can't really explain it honestly. It's just I feel like people see that matchup and they're like, I'm not really entertained with that rather than if they saw Anthony Edwards in the final. At least if it was Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves versus like the Pacers or the Knicks, that would be fine. Literally any other combination, I think, would have been better, would be better than Pacers versus Thunder. It would make for a more interesting matchup. Obviously, it's almost guaranteed Thunder to be in the finals now. Um, but Pacers or the Knicks, I'm not gonna lie. If I had to choose, I need to see the Knicks in the finals because Knicks Thunder would really be interesting. But if it's Pacers Thunder, I don't know if me personally, I don't think I'd be interested in that. I really wouldn't watch. I'd keep tabs on
I
it
would love to watch.
as much again, as much as the finals or as the playoffs have been interesting, has been probably this has probably been one of my most watched playoffs personally because I haven't tuned into the NBA playoffs in a long time. It's been a while. And this year I've been up to date on every series. I've been watching multiple games. I get home, I watch the Knicks game. You know, I've been keeping tabs on this NBA playoffs. But if it's Pacers versus Thunder, I can't say that I would watch, and I can't say a lot of people would watch that matchup. So that's just really my thoughts on that. But Matt, if you want to take this back, and lead us straight into the Spurs topic.
Yeah, so right now, let's jump into the Spurs topic right now. So at the moment, the San Antonio Spurs hold the number two overall pick in the NBA draft. The number two overall projected pick is Dylan Harper at as we stand, right? I think undoubtedly Dylan Harper will be the second overall pick. But it begs the question, right? Do the Spurs really need Dylan Harper, right? You have De'Aaron Fox, you have Stephon Castle. Is Dylan Harper really going to fit this team going forward? My personal opinion is I think that they need to make a trade, whether it is the number two overall pick, whether it is Stephon Castle, whether it is De'Aaron Fox. They need to trade one of those guys because I just don't see how a team of Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, and De'Aaron Fox all in the starting lineup because all those guys are too good to be on the bench. You cannot have those players on the bench. I'm sorry, you just cannot. I don't see how that team functions properly. And on top of it, Giannis is rumored to get traded this offseason. Why don't the Spurs do a package of number two and a bunch of other future first round picks that they own and package it for Giannis? I mean, granted, we don't know if they're going to draft Dylan Harper at two. We don't know how good Dylan Harper will actually be. A prospect is a prospect at the end of the day. If you can get Giannis Antetokounmpo and pair him up with Victor Wembanyama, that is absolutely insane. Giannis has been on record to want to go to an Eastern Conference team. However, he has no say in where he gets traded. And I'm sure if Giannis gets traded to San Antonio to play with Wemby and De'Aaron Fox, I guarantee you he's not going to complain. I guarantee you not being on an Eastern Conference team is going to be the last thing that comes to his mind. He is honestly going to be a star in San Antonio if he goes there. I mean, he already is a star, but that pairing of Giannis and Wemby, those two tall powerhouses, will break the NBA. And I mean, I'm a Nets fan, so like I would like the number two overall pick. So the Spurs, if you are going to trade number two, look to Brooklyn. You want Cam Johnson, you want Nick Claxton, you want Keon Johnson. We got a lot of Johnsons for you. We got Cam Thomas. If you want people, you want Zaire Williams, like you tell me what you want, and I will personally drive all of them over to San Antonio. I will pay for the airfare. I will pay for the gas fare, everything. You let me know. You call Sean Marks. He'll make a trade for you. But right now, personally, I think the Spurs should move number two because the projection of three guards in the starting lineup, I just don't see how it works. Especially because they're all like, I don't want to say ball dominant, but like they kind of need the ball in their hands to score, especially Dylan Harper. And I know this because I go to Rutgers and I got to watch him firsthand, and I'm forever grateful for him. So go for it, Zach.
So yeah, I'm again, I agree. I do agree. I feel like if the Spurs didn't get De'Aaron Fox at the deadline last year or this year, sorry. If the Spurs didn't get De'Aaron Fox this year at the deadline, then I'd feel a little differently. You know what I mean? Like I'd feel like okay, it makes sense for them to take a guard. It makes sense for them to take Dylan Harper at number two, and it makes sense for them to build a team with him, Dylan Harper, all the young talent on that team, and Wemby. But they have Fox now, and they have a lot of guards. They have Stephon Castle, and you know what? It doesn't really make sense anymore to take that. Now they, like you said, they may not take Dylan Harper at two. That's just what people think is gonna happen. That's like the projected number two spot is projected to be Dylan Harper. But they may go a different direction. They could do that as well. But I do think that the best option for them is to use the number two pick and trade it to a team that may need it. And if you give it to Milwaukee and you get Giannis in return, you are setting your team up for the future. Not only for the future, you could have a lot of fun with that team. All the young talent on the team, plus the headliners of Fox, Wemby, and Giannis, that would be terrific. I would be that's a championship caliber team right there. And if I think that would make more sense for the Spurs than to take a guard, or if they go down the direction again, it is what it is. But I think that would make more sense instead of them just taking Dylan Harper and then bringing him over. And then what do? You have three, like you said, three ball dominant guards, or three people who need the ball in their hands. And there's so much talent there. Like, what do? You can't put one on the bench. You really shouldn't put one on the bench. So what do you do? And that's really the question. But hopefully they make the right decision in the end. I have a feeling I that they will. But Spurs, man, they could really make some noise this year if they trade, if they make a blockbuster trade and grab Giannis. But with that being said, that about wraps up our NBA news. We're gonna head into some baseball and just jump straight into Devers and why he's refusing to move from the DH spot. Bregman just got hurt. He's out for the foreseeable future, and now they're left with kind of a hole at third base, but not really, because Marcelo Meyer is going to be playing third base for the Red Sox instead of Devers, and that's like I get it from a Devers aspect because in the beginning of the year, Devers wanted to play third base, but that opportunity obviously got taken away from him because the Red Sox decided to stick Bregman there, and so Devers got put to DH. So I feel like Devers is just trying to assert his dominance, like pretty much say, listen, you guys wanted me to be a DH at the beginning of the year. Now I'm not gonna change my role just because another person on our team got hurt. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna play third base again. I'm gonna stick to DH because this is what you guys wanted from the beginning. That's what I think he's at. I think that's where his head's at right now. And although that may seem like the right move in his head, that really isn't the right move for the team because the Red Sox are struggling. This is
Hmm.
going into this year, I thought the Red Sox were going to be a very good team, very powerhouse like team, and they have been the complete opposite of that. In fact, they keep finding a way to lose ball games instead of win them. They've lost many, many close games. Rob Refsnyder actually was on in the
I,
post game interview, and he was upset about the way they've been playing. He just said straight up, simply put, we suck right now, and that's the truth. They're just not a good. They're not clicking. They have such talent, such good talent on that roster, but they're not clicking together. And is Devers kind of sort of the problem that maybe he could play a role in that. He could really much so play a role in that because if you're just straight up saying no and you're not going to be there for your team and you're going to slide in when Bregman's hurt and on the shelf right now, you're not going to slide in. To me that seems petty. Matt, I'm gonna pan it over to you. What do you think about this whole Devers situation?
yeah, no, I mean, I fully agree with you where I thought the Red Sox were going to be a lot better this season. I definitely think that right now Devers, I mean, look, I understand where he's coming from a little bit. If this is the case, he really is trying to be petty because it's like they wanted him to play DH and now all of a sudden they don't want him to play DH and now it's like you wanted me to do this, but now like you don't want me to do this. So I understand that. But as you said, the Red Sox are not really playing up to expectations as people like ourselves thought they were going to be playing to this year. So at this rate, you kind of just need to do what your team needs you to do to win ball games, right? Bregman's done for the year, right? Marcelo Meyer, they just called up. I mean, Tristan Casas, I mean, just another name who is out for the year, and that thought we all thought was going to be a big part of this Red Sox offense. He's done for the year. So really, the Red Sox need to do what they have to do to like really just push themselves over the edge. At this rate, the Yankees have like a 6, 7 game lead in the AL East, and there's still a lot of games left. So it's far from over. It's far from over. So the Red Sox can obviously make a comeback. And me being a Yankee fan, I know they love to blow leads. They love to blow everything. So the Red Sox can certainly come back. But right now, Devers needs to do what he has to do with the team's best interest in mind. And if it means to stop being petty for a second, then that's what it's going to come to. And I did see some rumors potentially of maybe the Red Sox actually do trade Devers down the line, even though he did just sign a big contract with them. I don't know how realistic that is. I'm not going to really speculate because I don't even know what a Rafael Devers trade would even look like. I don't know what teams would look for him. He'd probably be a Dodger. Let's be real, right? He would probably be a Los Angeles Dodger because everyone's going to be a Los Angeles Dodger. I'm surprised Aaron Judge is not a Los Angeles Dodger. But with that being said, Devers needs to really just put the pettiness aside if that really is the case, and just do what he needs to do for the Red Sox best interests.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, but I just want to add one more thing before we move on.
Of course.
Um, Devers, this is a guy that is getting paid. He's getting paid the most, I think, in on the club, obviously, $300 million contract. But I want to point this out because again, when I heard this when I was watching the video on MLB Network, um, it would bother me if I'm a Red Sox fan and I'm listening to this, to what's being said about the whole situation. So, according to MLB Network, it was said that the Red Sox can't even ask him to go back. Like he just will refuse. He just won't. I'm pretty sure the owner has even tried to speak with him. And Devers just refuses to go back. So again, it's really just a petty situation, and he's really just pretty much being like, "Hey, you guys wanted me to be a DH. That's what I am. I'm a DH, and I'm a damn good DH. So I'm gonna stick to that." And that's where he's at. And that's where he's at right now. So, with that being said, let's go straight into the next topic, and that is the big return of Ronald Acuna Jr. And he is back, and he's made some noise for the Braves since coming back. But the real question is, does this make a difference? Does this change the outlook for the Braves? Deej, what's your thoughts on this?
I mean, it definitely changes the outlook of the Braves, in my opinion. They're third in their division right now, I believe. Surely they're going to pass the Mets at some point. Surely the Nationals and Marlins will pass the Mets at some point. But no reaction. Wow, he's getting
I'm
better.
holding in.
He's getting better.
I'm
No,
holding in because you know what's next.
I do
So
know
I'm
what's
holding it
next.
in.
I do know what's next. Okay. Surely, this definitely changes the outcome of the Braves a little bit. I think right now the Braves are not playing their best baseball. I know they started the year off really bad, but now they're a close to 500 team. And Acuna's first at bat, back from injury, home run. Like, how electric is that? Literally first pitch too. I wanna emphasize that. And that's great because there were a lot of concerns regarding Acuna if he was still going to be the same player, because now this is like a second major injury he's had. And I mean, even though it's a small sample size, he has over 1200 OPS right now, I believe, right?
Yep,
So he's
1200 OPS,
yeah,
333 average, 5 hits, 2 homers.
exactly. Five, two, sorry, two out of his 5 hits are home runs.
Hmm.
So, I mean, he's just going to keep killing it. He's going to keep getting at bats. And the game is better when their most electric players are playing. You need guys like him to be healthy. You need guys like Tatis to be healthy. We're going to get into him, but you need guys like Juan Soto to be healthy. And well, he is healthy. He just sucks. You need guys like Juan Soto to be good and, like provide, because that's how this work gets ratings. And, that's just people will look at baseball and be like, damn, like this is such a cool sport. And you need guys like Julio Rodriguez to like and Ellie De La Cruz, these guys, like they need to be great in order to market this sport. And in terms of the Braves season, I think the Phillies will run away with the division. They might pass they probably will pass the Mets at some point. Let's be real. I mean, when do the Mets not Met, right? No, like when do you not met?
Dude. Uh, for me with this whole Acuna situation,
Okay.
we don't met. We're not. I hopefully I don't want to because I don't want to say it because it's happened. You've seen it. You've watched it happen in
Was it the
22.
I was gonna say the 2022 season. That
22.
was my favorite. I love
You
that
watched
season.
it happen in 2022, and I was so confident that year that we were gonna run away with the division. But things have of a way to, and I said it from the beginning to when as soon as everybody was like, "Oh, the Braves are 0 and 7. The Braves are so bad. There's no way the Braves are gonna make a comeback."
You
I'm
thought
not gonna I'm
wrong.
not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. They have a very good opportunity to come back, especially now that Strider's starting to pitch more. I believe he pitched today. He pitched I think almost 5 innings against the Phillies, gave up a run and had like 7 strikeouts. So the more he gets ramped up and ready to go, that's another weapon you're adding to your team. And Acuna is back, and like we said before, 2 of his 5 hits have been homers. His first at bat back was a homer. So, and it wasn't no baby homer either. It was a shot. It was a piece. So it's they're definitely a lot more exciting to watch when Acuna is inserted into that lineup. And I said again, like I said, I said it from the beginning. You can never count the Braves out. And it was too early on, and everybody that I was talking to was saying so many bad things about the Braves, but they have a legitimate shot. They're only 3 games under 500. Granted, they may not have a shot to win the division. Playoffs is still very much so in play. You know, it just depends on the kind of turnaround that they have. They're 9.5 out of the division right now. If they could find a way to continuously put to wins together and win ball games, they could very much so come back into the division too. But I think right now their most logical way of coming back into it is getting above 500 and staying in that wild card hunt, staying in that wild card race. So that's where I think they're going to excel with this. But Acuna's back. It's exciting for the sport. Not really exciting if you're a Mets fan, but it's exciting for the sport, to say the least. So,
Mhm.
Deej,
Yeah. All right. So the way I worded this is not the best. Okay. On the doc, right? I'll reword it. How is it that Juan Soto is now a comparable player to Anthony Volpe?
I really
That
wouldn't say comparable. I feel like that's so unfair to Juan Soto. I really
okay.
feel like that's so unfair to Juan
Let's
Soto.
pull up the stats. Let's pull up the stats. By the way, when I had the stats ready, Soto was batting 233. He's now batting 228. So
Yeah, because he's having a rough day at the office against the
rough
White Sox. I
day,
know. I know.
rough day, rough year.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a shame. Only the Mets, and I've said this to you so many times, and to so many other fabulous Yankee fans, only the Mets can sign a generational player and make him be terrible at the same time. It's just
You,
incredible. Literally, like the Mets are gonna Met.
I'm still gonna grill you for this, by the way. And don't think me saying this is just like letting you off the hook because it's not. We're not letting you off the hook. I'm not letting you off the hook on
Brother,
this.
I want you to come full force
Okay,
at me.
Juan Soto. The frustrating thing
Okay.
about Juan Soto,
Said he's not
right?
good.
In the signing. No, it's not that he's not good. The
What?
frustrating thing about him and the signing is that the Mets never do this. They never, ever, ever in like history, especially me watching them, in my years watching them, they never get a player in their prime when they're at their best. This is a guy that's 26 years old. He is in his prime, theoretically, and he's putting up his probably his worst season of his career so far. Granted, Lindor had a rough start in the beginning. I feel like it's something similar with Juan Soto. I hope it's something similar with Juan Soto because we have him for 15 years. If it leads to that, but we have him for 15 years. I I really hope the production the production needs to come up. He's batting 228. His OPS is 756, which I think is another career low right now. His RBI production's not there. He's got like 20 something RBIs. He's got still under 10 home runs, and we're getting to we're through a good chunk of the season. I'm frustrated with him for many reasons, as are many Mets fans. But again, that's not the case here. You're sitting here and you want to stir the pot a bit. You want to stir the pot a bit, and I get it. I get that Anthony Volpe has better stats right now. I get it. I understand, and I get for you as a Yankees fan because Juan Soto came to the Mets, and because he went to rivals, and because he didn't come back to you guys. That oh, it's so much fun to rank on him
No,
because he's
I
got lesser
want
stats
you
than
I
Anthony
want you to
Volpe.
know that he's bad because he's on the Mets. Maybe okay, that's not true. He's bad because he left the Yankees. Like straight up. Straight up. If Soto went to any other team, I also think it's mentally too. If Soto went to any other team, the backlash from the Yankee fans would not have been as bad. I guarantee you if he went to the Dodgers or some team
Oh,
like that, it would not
100%.
have been as bad. It's
100%.
he willingly chose blood. He willingly chose the Mets, whether it was his family's, intent or not to push him to go there. He willingly chose the Mets knowing what was at stake, knowing how the Yankee fans were like, considering he was there for an entire year. So that is entirely on Juan Soto. So he chose the worst possible place to go if he didn't want to get booed, if he didn't want the mental aspect of baseball to affect him. And as we know, baseball is a very mental sport. It is you can argue it is the most mental sport possibly of the big four. I think it has to be. I think it has to be. There's no shot it's not of the big four sports. So that is entirely Juan Soto's doing. He screwed himself. And now Anthony Volpe has better stats than Juan Soto. And I love to see it. And this is just straight hate. This is just my straight hatred for Juan Soto. Straight up. Because I think he's a snake. And I want him to know that. Not that he cares about my opinion. I mean, he's $800 million richer. Sure, yeah, he can cry. He can wipe his tears away with his $100 bills in his pocket. I'm aware of that. But as a baseball fan, I love it. I love every second of it. Every second of it.
Look. Sure. Anthony Volpe right now currently has better stats than Juan Soto.
Yeah.
And I think also the person you replaced Juan Soto with, Cody Bellinger, especially with the tear he's been on,
Yeah, I was actually
has
just
better
about to.
stats
I think
than Juan
Trent
Soto.
Grisham also has better
I
stats.
think Trent Grisham definitely does have better stats than Juan Soto. And it may all look bad, trust me, it is bad. And it does frustrate me to my very core because it is so damn frustrating that you can never win as a Mets fan. Because no matter what happens, you can't be happy. You can't be happy. And that's the gift and the burden of being a Mets fan and supporting this team. You can't be happy because when you get a guy like
Oh.
this, he comes over and he's just not himself. He's just but granted, you can't freak out because this is year one. This
Yeah, of
is year
15.
one of
Of
15.
15. So he's going
So
to be bad for 14 more years.
you
That's
can't
crazy.
overreact. Oh my God.
Dude, Cody
You
Bellinger, I'm looking at his stats right now. He's dead ass better than everything in Juan Soto. The only thing Soto's better than him at is just games played and plate appearances. Oh, and stolen bases, but who cares about stolen bases? Bellinger beats him in hits. They're tied in home runs. RBIs, he's better. Batting average, slugging, OPS, OPS plus. Cody Bellinger is better than Juan Soto. Let's do.
okay.
Let me look at Trent Grisham.
Realistically, stats wise,
Soto sucks.
currently, yes, on paper, stats wise, they're better. Are they actually better? No.
Yes.
You
What the
know
fuck
that for
do you
sure.
mean they're not better?
You know that if we're at his best versus at his best, Cody Bellinger at his best versus Juan Soto at his best, you know Juan Soto's better. And if you say otherwise, then you might have jumped off the deep end. You
Um, Cody
might have
Bellinger.
jumped off the deep end.
Cody Bellinger at his
One
best.
MVP, yes,
Cody
I guess.
Bellinger at his best
Yes.
was a
Yes.
top two
One
player
MVP,
in
yes.
baseball. He
Yes.
didn't just win MVP. He was a top two player in
But
baseball.
what do you want Juan Soto to do when he's got Aaron Judge there? He was in the American League last year, and
Mhm.
even this year he's got Shohei. It's kind of hard
Is
when
Soto wasn't even second for MVP, big dog. It was Bobby Witt Jr.
I again I realize
Yeah.
that too. I
Yeah.
realize that too. But
Mhm.
again, when you got dogs like that, and especially Judge, I mean, you know better. You know better
If
than anyone.
we're comparing the peaks of Juan Soto and Cody Bellinger, you're taking the peak of Juan Soto over Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger was arguably the best player in baseball.
I guess not. Don't spin it. Don't spin it. We're talking about Soto. We're talking about how you want to just.
You literally just mentioned if they were both playing at their best. That was your take. That was your
Currently,
comment.
yes,
Your comment.
I know. I know. I realize what I said. I know. I know
Yes.
what I said. And I know what you're trying to say. Yes, yes. Cody Bellinger won an MVP. Yes, yes. I realize that. But again, again, currently, currently, I don't know.
What?
I don't I don't know. I really just want to kill you for saying putting this topic on there. I really do. Like I'm like
You
truthfully,
agreed.
truthfully.
You
I
agreed to
know. I
this.
know because it's you know what? You know what? It's actually getting it's getting to me because it's frustrating, but it's funny. It's funny though because this is where it's come. This is what it's come to. This is what it's come to. It's
Or go-
funny. It's funny because it's it's thrown in my face that all these players on this new revamped Yankee team without Juan Soto
Yes.
has more. They all have better stats than Juan Soto, and it's just ironic. It's so. If you use that word
What?
almost every day you use
What word?
ironic.
I didn't say it
Every
today.
day, every day. This is probably the most ironic situation ever that the Mets would get a all-star, superstar caliber
Well, not
talent.
anymore. Not
Add
anymore.
him to the team, and this is what we get. We get 228, 756 OPS, and barely hitting as good as he once was.
I love it. It's
It's
just
frustrating. It's frustrating, but to think that he's not going to eventually turn around would be so dumb. So very dumb because again, I mean, I'm praying. I'm really praying. If it's a full year of straight terribleness, we got a problem. We got a problem. I hopefully if it gets to it, if he sucks for the first half, he sucks for the first half. Hopefully he turns around for the second half. If he doesn't turn around for the second half, there is I am going to let loose the demon at the end of the year. Let loose the demon. So everybody mark your calendars for the end of this 2025 baseball season because it could either be, hey, I'm going to praise Juan Soto or hey, I'm going to let the demon loose. So keep your eyes open for that. But again, like I said, it's so frustrating. It is so very frustrating. And the more you think about it, the more mad you get. And that's where I'm going to leave it.
I also before we end, I assume we're gonna end the pod. I do just want to give an update on the Pacers score. It is currently 115 to 102. Pacers are winning with about 6 minutes left in the game. So it is it's far from over, but right now the Pacers do have a solid lead. But we've seen a lot of leads get blown in this playoffs, especially the Knicks have been on the other end of it and coming back from it. So we'll see. Anything can happen, but I'm hoping, I'm genuinely hoping the Pacers can pull it out here. And if they, my luck, they'll blow the 3-1 lead if they do win tonight. So no one has it worse. Anyway, so yeah, uh, feedback on today: Juan Soto sucks. Anthony Volpe's better. Trent Grisham's better. Cody Bellinger's better. Who would have thought that 38-year-old Paul Goldschmidt would be better than Juan Soto this year? Did you think? I didn't think that. Did you think that?
I really want him to go on such a massive hot streak. Just to blow it, just to throw it right back at you. Just
Mhm.
to throw. I can't wait for him to actually do that and actually get hot because once he gets hot, it's gonna be a problem.
Mhm.
But right now, I don't know. For some reason, he just can't stay consistent.
Because
He
he's
just
not good.
can't do it.
He's
Can't
not
do it.
good.
And I haven't really seen the
I
same
think
Soto
I
as I have previous years.
you're not gonna see you're never gonna see Yankees Juan Soto.
That's out of the question.
You're
That's out of the
never gonna
question.
see that because that player, his stats were inflated because he had Aaron Judge behind him. You're never gonna get close to that production. And Mets fans, you can come at me. I know for a fact I'm right. I
You
know
are
for a
right.
fact I'm right.
I do agree with that. But
You
I,
you
I,
gotta
I
yeah.
do think that he just needs to turn around. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, you're fine.
That's my fault. But it's just so frustrating and he just really needs to turn it around. Like truthfully, this is the stretch to do it, really. I mean like this is it. We have we just played a game yesterday, so now it's not 19 games anymore. It's now 8. After tonight it'll be 17. But initially we have a 19 game stretch of which we're playing teams under 500. We got the Rockies and the White Sox on our schedule. If there's any opportunity to get back into it, to get back into the swing of things, it's now. It's now more than ever because you're going up against not as competitive teams. You're going up against teams that are below 500 and you need to capitalize. Get in a groove, get in your rhythm, swing the bat and be competitive at the plate. That's what I want from Juan Soto and that's where I'm going to leave it. That's where I'm going to leave it right there.
Yeah, I'll leave it too because I will we said this is gonna be a shorter pod and I could definitely talk my ear off and your ear off about this and we should I think it should be a staple that we should talk about Soto at least once per pod.
You want to do it? Maybe we'll make that a segment. If y'all keep
The
liking the
Soto
Soto
update.
videos,
The Soto update every
yeah,
week.
if y'all keep liking the Soto updates and the Soto videos, we will do a Soto update every week on the pod, and that will be just mayhem. But with that being said, that wraps up episode 56 of the Do You Know Ball podcast. We will catch you guys next time for episode 57.